Okay, boys and girls, today we're on lesson 9.4, Compare Fractions, on page 525. And our strategy today, what strategies can you use to compare fractions? So we're kind of using some of the ideas and principles we've learned over the last few lessons and applying them kind of all possibly to today's lesson. Let's look at Unlock the Problem. It says Luca and Anne are eating the same size small pizzas. They're the same size, so that's important. One plate has 3/4 of Luca's cheese pizza. Another plate has 5/6 of Anne's mushroom pizza. Whose plate has more pizza? So we're going to compare 3/4 and 5/6. We can use, before we do any of that, let's look at the screen box here. It says circle the numbers you need to compare. I already did that. I circled the 3/4 and I circled the 5/6. How many pieces make up each whole pizza? Well, Luca's pizza, actually I'm going to change my color here, change that to yellow. Luca's pizza has 4 slices. So Luca has 4. And then Anne's pizza right here has 6 pieces. Okay, so Anne's pizza has 6. Now we have how many pieces make up each whole pizza. Missing pieces strategy. It says you can compare fractions by comparing pieces missing from the whole. So we've been looking at the number of slices or pieces that are there. This strategy is looking which ones are missing. So first thing we're going to do is shade 3/4 of Luca's pizza because that's how much was on of his cheese pizza he had. So we're going to shade 3/4. So we'll all the way around do 3 of them. Okay, so this is what I'm shading in right here. That's 3/4. Okay, and then Anna's pizza was 5/6. So we're going to shade in 5/6 of her pizza, which is all of those slices right there. 5/6. Okay, so you should shade yours in also. Shade in 5 out of the 6. And you can go over the fractions inside the pizzas. I can't because it just covers them up, but if you shade lightly, they'll still show through your pencil shading. Alright, next step. Well, it says right here, each fraction represents a whole that is missing one piece. One slice missing out of Luca's, this guy right here, that's missing. And same with Anna. And that one right there is missing. Since 1/6 is blank and 1/4, a smaller piece is missing from Anne's pizza. 1/6, so I'm going to kind of highlight it a little bit here in red, this 1/6 compared to the 1/4. And that 1/6 is smaller than the 1/4. You can see that, right? So the 1/6 is smaller or less than 1/4. If a smaller piece is missing from Anne's pizza, she has more pizza left. Okay, let's look at that again. She's missing this small piece right here. So since that's smaller than this one, it tells us that what is left over is bigger than Luca's pizza. Okay. So which plate has more pizza on it? That's Anne's pizza has more pizza on it because she's missing less of her pizza. So she has more pizza. That's Anne. You kind of have to think maybe even backwards a little bit for that strategy. Now this one, we're going to use the same denominator strategy. We've done that before. When denominators are the same, you can compare only the number of pieces or the numerators. I'm just going to write a fraction, 3/4. If the denominators are the same, the bottom numbers, then we can compare the numerator or the top number. Alright, so here we have Morgan ran 2/3 of a mile, Alexa ran 1/3 of a mile. Who ran farther? We can compare 2/3 and 1/3. So again, since the denominators are the same, we can compare just the top numbers. Which one's bigger? The 2. So 2/3 is greater than 1/3. So who ran farther? Whoever ran the 2/3 of a mile, and that was Morgan. So Morgan ran farther. That's probably the easiest comparison we get to make when the denominators are the same. Let's slide over to the next page here. Page 526. It says Miss Davis is making a fruit salad with 3/4 pound of cherries and 3/8 pound of strawberries. Which weighs less? Cherries or the strawberries. So we're comparing 3/4 and 3/8 to see which one weighs less. And here we're using the same numerator strategy. When the numerators are the same, look at the denominators, compare the size of the pieces. Okay, so here we're comparing the strawberries and the cherries. All right, 1/8 is smaller than 1/4 because there are more pieces. There are more pieces in the 1/8. There are 8 pieces make up the whole here. Right? Here, 4 pieces make up the whole. So since an eighth of something is smaller than a fourth of something, 3/8 is smaller than 3/4. So what weighs less? Well, whatever was 3/8. And we go up here, 3/8 of a pound of strawberries. So the strawberries weigh less. Now that doesn't mean each strawberry weighs less than a cherry. We know that's not true. It means 3/8 of a pound of strawberries weighs less than 3/4 of a pound of cherries. Okay. Now that one might be the trickiest one. However, if you remember my strategy from a couple days ago, I said I always like to do the fraction strips. So I can draw what looks like a candy bar, draw a line down the middle, and then I can, since we had, what did we have here? 3/4. So the top one I'm going to divide into 4 equal parts and divide it in half and divide each of those halves up. And now I have 3/4. So I can color in 3/4 and I get there. And then the other one was 3/8. So all I have to do, sorry about that. All I have to do here is divide them into fourths and then divide each one of those in half, and then I get 8 pieces. There we go. And that was 3/8, so I go 3/8 right there. And now we can see that 3/4, whoops, sorry about that again, I keep forgetting to change back to my pen. 3/4 compared to 3/8 on the bottom, and 3/8 smaller than a 3/4, which is right. Okay. Let's look at share and show. I will do 1 and 2 and 5. You'll have to do 3 and 4 on your own and bring it up to check. But what I encourage you to do right now is to pause the video, do all of them, resume the video, check 1 and 2 and 5. If those are right, bring up 3 and 4 to check in person. And if those are right, then you can move on. Okay? But of course, you'll have to fix any of the mistakes you make on these first 5. Go ahead and pause the video, try to do 1 through 5. When you're done, resume the video to check 1 and 2 and 5 just on the video. Then 3 and 4 you'll check with me in person. Okay, here we go. Compare 7/8 and 5/6. What is missing from each whole? Okay, 7/8 and 5/6. So if we look at that, this is missing right here, and that is smaller than this right here. So since this is smaller, what's left over, all this other area here, is going to be bigger than this one over here. So 7/8 is greater than 5/6. Number 2, compare, write the strategy you used. Okay, again, you guys know me now. I like to use fraction strips, candy bar method, whatever you want to call it. So the top part, I'm going to shade in 1/2. And on the bottom part, I'm going to make 2/3. It's a little tricky to make them equal in thirds, but I'm going to shade in the 2/3. And I can see that my 2/3, the yellow one, is bigger. So, sorry about that, there we go. 2/3 is bigger, so that means 1/2 is less than 2/3. Alright, and then we're going to go over to number 5 here, and I have 3/4 and 7/8. So again, I'm going to draw fraction strips, and I'm going to draw fourths first on everything. I'll show you why in just a minute. So the top one is divided into fourths, and I can automatically shade in 3/4 there. The bottom one is in fourths, so I need to make that into 8. Since I can double 4 and get to 8, so that means I just take each one of the fourths, divide it in half, and now I have 8 equal parts on the bottom. And I need to shade in, 7 of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now I can look and see that the top one, sorry about that again, the top one is less than, stops right here, the bottom one stops here, so the bottom one's bigger, and so my 3/4 is on top, and it is smaller than 7/8. So that's why I really like drawing the fraction bars, or fraction strips. It makes it much easier for me to actually compare and see which one's longer. Go ahead and have number 3 and 4 there checked in person. If you get those right, then you can move on. Alright, work hard, boys and girls. Show integrity. That means doing your own work, not listening to others, not having others tell you the answer, or not telling people the answers, right? Show integrity, work hard, and persevere. As always, this is Mr. P, and I'm out.